So I'm going to tell you the story of Joseph Faber, who was a German-born inventor. He dedicated roughly 25 years of intense labour to creating what he called euphonia, which was a mechanical speaking machine revealed in the mid-1840s. Mounted on a gilded table, euphonia was an automaton which sported a lifelike mask with corkscrew curls and functional rubber lips, a tongue, a soft palate, jaw, and cheeks.
1840?
Mid-1840s. This inventor had spent 25 years of his life inventing this. This was like unheard of at the time. Using a keyboard and a foot-operated bellows, Faber manually controlled 17 levers that simulated the human vocal tract, producing phonemes by driving air through reeds, resonators, shutters, and nasal passages. Audiences could request words in multiple European languages, and euphonia even performed a breathy chant of God Save the Queen. This is the thing, this next bit is what I find quite harrowing, especially when there's so much talk nowadays on both mental health and rise of AI. Do we use technology too much? Do children use technology too much? How much technology exposure is okay for children, etc.? So despite its technical brilliance, euphonia unsettled audiences with its eerie realism. Apparently it spoke in a slow, sepulchral voice behind vacant eyes.
What's sepulchral?
It's basically like dark.
Okay.
Dark, sort of like quite foreboding. Its breath, pumped by the bellows, felt on listeners' cheeks. Many comparisons were drawn to Frankenstein's monster, with one critic remarking on the secret influence of an idea that the two were destined to live and die together. The unsettling combination of nearly human speech with an inhuman visage is now understood as an early example of what we now call the uncanny valley phenomenon, which you talked about on the pod before. Although public reception was largely negative, crowds in London left sadder and creeped out, which is what's, this is sort of what's very interesting. So this man obviously toured with this, thinking that people would find it amazing. But, the public reception, which was so negative to this, was that when people would go and see the show, they couldn't really explain why, but they would leave the show sort of feeling down, feeling sad, and sort of creeped out. Euphonia had a lasting impact on scientific progress. It caught the attention of Smithsonian director Joseph Henry, who foresaw its potential as a telephonic relaying device. Notably, Melville Bell, the father of Alexander Graham Bell, was inspired by it, helping pave the way toward the invention of the telephone. Tragically, Faber ended his own life after destroying his creation, yet his mechanical marvel quietly sowed seeds for modern speech synthesis and telecommunication. But yeah, I think that's quite spooky and harrowing. I think the fact that people found it depressing, strangely depressing, because on the surface you think, why would that be depressing? But you think of sort of watching it and it's just strangely vacant face just making noises, and almost you can feel this artificial breath coming out of its mouth. And I think it just goes to show that there's humans, we can sense when something's unnatural. And we crave reality. We crave talking to other human beings, being around other animals, being outside, doing real things. And how, even though technology can be amazing, there is almost something a bit depressing to it. And sometimes it's very hard to even put your finger on why. I remember we said, I think it was years ago now, Bullwinkle, we said have you ever had a gaming set, played a game that you so much, but then you almost overindulge and you end up playing it for 8 hours in a row.
You feel sad.
And you turn it off and you just sort of feel a bit
feel like you've let yourself down, doesn't it?
Yeah, you sort of feel, that's right. You sort of feel like you've left, and you've almost wasted your day.
Yeah.
But it sort of feels a bit harrowing and depressing.